So can hydrogen water really make a difference in how you look and feel? What if you could slow down the aging process simply by changing your water? Could hydrogen water really help us to age backwards? Well, in today's video, we're going to talk all about hydrogen water. We're going to talk about what it is, what do the studies say about it, are there any benefits to it, and then I'm going to share with you my review of the brand new Echo Flask hydrogen water bottle. We'll find out. Is it worth it? Hi, I'm Adele and welcome to Forever Young. So if you don't know me, my channel is about health, wellness, fitness, and lifestyle. I talk all about it on this channel. And today I'm going to talk about hydrogen water. So let's just start off first of what is hydrogen water? Well, actually it's H2O, which is water, with H2, which is a hydrogen molecule gas. And what's so interesting about this hydrogen molecule, it is the smallest molecule in the universe, and it's able to penetrate the blood-brain barrier. Well, this is pretty amazing because we know all of our chronic diseases, almost every one of them starts from inflammation and oxidative stress. So if you can imagine, there's over 1,500 peer-reviewed studies on hydrogen water. Hydrogen water has been studied by the Japanese for I think it was 1950s and 60s, they started having miraculous results. There's always been cultures in our history that have been benefited by different famous waters and fountains, like the Lord's water. So there's always something that has been in the water that's kind of magical. And today, with all the different chronic diseases, hydrogen water has so many benefits. As a matter of fact, they did a study on hydrogen water in PubMed where they took 70-year-olds and they drank hydrogen water for 6 months and they were able to lengthen their telomeres. So what are telomeres? Telomeres are a marker of our longevity, whether we're living well and we're going to have long longevity, but if they're shorter, we're going to have a shorter longevity in our life. So that's very important, and I found it really interesting. The other day I was listening to a video about vitamin D, which I'm a big proponent of vitamin D, and everybody needs D3. That is mimicking the sun, And they were talking about the studies where there's so many studies on vitamin D. They were talking about how vitamin D, 2,000 milligrams a day, after 3 years could lengthen your telomeres, and they call it an anti-aging vitamin, which is actually a hormone really. But I just found it astounding that hydrogen water does this in 6 months. So it has helped so many different chronic diseases. They've even done studies on Alzheimer's, that it helps with cognitive therapy, and they have done studies on Parkinson's disease, the gut issues, any type of inflammatory arthritic conditions. It can lower blood pressure, cholesterol, allergies, so many things that hydrogen does. As a matter of fact, there is a study, a website actually, a study that says the website is called hydrogenstudies.com, and Echo, the same company we're going to talk about today, has put that out. And you can actually go there and you can see all the studies in different diseases that hydrogen water has helped. There are so many peer-reviewed studies on hydrogen water. It's just fascinating. Now, our body, actually, we have to have hydrochloric acid, and that's really where hydrogen gas is part of hydrochloric acid, which we need to break down our food. And as we get older, we lose a lot of our hydrochloric acid. People can't digest their food. It helps with skin issues. I think there was 70 million, I have the stats here, 50 million people in our country have acne, eczema, 7.3% of the population, psoriasis, 2.3%, have these kind of skin issues. Well, it's coming from all the food and the glycosates and all the things that we have in our diet. And so hydrogen water has been known to help all of these. As a matter of fact, it's funny, I guess I'm kind of clumsy. I was trying to get my cat the other day. Now it's been 2 weeks, and I got my toe stuck in this sheet, and I was reaching over and I tripped and my whole toe went to the left, and it was terrible. It hurt so bad. And as I was doing the research for my video, just to kind of recap, I was realizing if I upped my hydrogen water, and now I did this after a week of, it hurting, and it started to get better right away. I was actually going to go get x-rays. Hopefully it's healing just fine, but I've got a bunion on my foot, which I've got to get rid of. I know that's more information that you need to know, but one of these days I'll be doing videos probably with a boot on my foot because I put it off for like 20 years. Anyway, I digress. But so that made it even worse because it pulled the whole toe over to the left. So I found that I was just starting to feel so much better because I upped my hydrogen water. So that brings me to the new Echo Flask bottle. Now, if you recall, some of you that have been with me a little bit less than a year ago, I did a video on the Echo to Go hydrogen bottle. That's the first bottle they came out with. And I really loved it. I became a believer in hydrogen water. I went down the rabbit hole. I even got scammed on some other bottles, and I talked to the owner of this company. I just went crazy and to try to find out what this hydrogen water was all about. And I ended up using and buying the Echo to Go bottle. And I've been using that the whole time except for the last 2 months. So they came out with the Echo Flask. And I thought, okay, well, do I need that? I already have this one. And they're expensive, but they're absolutely worth it. And I'm going to tell you why. I was like, well, okay, I guess I should try it. So I finally got it, and I've been using it for the last 2 months, and I'm really, really loving it. And I want to show you some of the differences. And if you want to see my rabbit hole video where I went into detail of what happened and why I went with the Echo company and the Echo, why I swear by that company now. And there's so many scams out there on hydrogen water that you wouldn't believe. So this is why I highly recommend this company. Plus, all of the bottles have a 5-year warranty. Nobody else has that. So anyway, this is the Echo Flask. This Echo Flask is very, it's kind of sexy looking, don't you think? I think it's just like, it looks really good. It holds 12 ounces of water. And it has this little thing here, and you just push, and then it will be ready to go. Let me get it down here so I can, there you go. And it goes ready, and then it goes on, and it has this display on it. And you can kind of see, I don't know, can you see probably not with my lights and things, but it's got the bubbles going on, and it's fantastic. Now, a 10-minute cycle, you're going to get, I think it's 5 milligrams, 5 ppms, parts per million. And with a 20-minute cycle, you get 8 parts per million. That is a lot. There's no bottle that has that much hydrogen. Of course, the more hydrogen, the better it is, and the less you really have to drink to get the amounts that you need for all of these great benefits. Now, the other bottle, which I have here, my little Echo to Go, has a 5-minute cycle and a 10-minute cycle, and you just push it once or twice and you get 10 minutes. But this has 2.4, I think, and 4, I believe. And this is 10 ounces. So there's a big difference, believe me, between the 10 and the 12. It's a lot more, especially when you're drinking it. I drink 3 bottles of this a day. That's really what's recommended to get the benefits. Of course, you can drink more if you want, but 3 a day, that's about 36 ounces. You're going to get these benefits. And you don't want to put tap water in it. It is not a filter. It is just putting hydrogen gas into the water. And a lot of the bottles that you'll see on the market, they're really scams. And if you try to check them with some of them produce chlorine. This has a membrane in it that is highly sophisticated. It's not just electrolysis. I'm not going to get into the whole weeds because you can go to the website and read about it. And I'm not, a scientist or, biologist. I'll just mess it up. But believe me, I've looked at the studies. I've looked at the mechanisms. You can actually, in that 5 years of drinking this water, they have said that you can have 3 bottles of this a day, over 1,000 hours at the minimum. And that's 5.5 years of the same strength of hydrogen water. It doesn't die down. So it's a wonderful mechanism with a 5-year warranty. That's one of the things I like. When this is done, you press down on the, I won't do it now because it's in the middle of working. You just press down on the top here, and then it unscrews and you have your hydrogen water. Before I had asked, why not glass? It's a BPA. It's not going to leach into your water. Plus it's not warm or anything like that. Perfectly safe. It would burst if it was glass. It would absolutely burst. You can't do it. Plus it's to go. So that's one of the things. And then the other thing is it has this display here, and it's going now, but actually I could stop it here, I guess. I've never tried that before. Well, we won't try to stop it. But anyway, it has this display, and you can hook it up to your, where is my, oh, where did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay. It comes with this little, charger. You charge it up. The display will show you, when it needs to be charged. Because it has a lot of water, I probably get about 6 chargers out of it. So you do have to charge it, which is like all of them, but it's easy. You just plug it in and, you're able to get your hydrogen water. And you can take that with you if you want. Again, no tap water. It has to be filtered water, reverse osmosis, something like that, because it's not a filter. It's certified by a third party. They have all the paperwork on the website, so you know that it's safe, and it's analyzed by different companies and certified. So it's very safe. The company, the founder of the company is Dr. Paul Baratero. Now he has been in hydrogen water for 20 years and had Echo for 16 years. And he has traveled all over the world, especially in Japan, and he does lectures on hydrogen water. So he knows what he's talking about. And he's lectured all over the world. So I like that. I've talked to him before because I wanted to know every single question, and everything was covered for me. So I feel very good about this. And it has this app. If you want, that's why they call it a smart bottle. If you want, you can hook it up to the app, the Echo app, and it can monitor how much water you're drinking. You can keep track of it. You can do challenges with friends. You can see how hydrated you are. So you can do all that if you want those bells and whistles. You don't have to, but if you're tech savvy and you like that, you can, hook it up to the app, and you can do that. So it's pretty cool. So all in all, with the 5-year guarantee, with all of the benefits of hydrogen water, you're going to see big differences. You'll feel a lot of energy. I know when I work out, I recover much faster. And many of you know I talk about my accident all the time I had when I was 69, where I pulled my hamstrings off of the pelvic bone completely. And that was like a 14-month rehab. I would come home and get so tired. And that's actually after I discovered the accident, after I discovered the Echo To Go bottle, this little beauty here. And I know my children are going to want dibs on this. I'm like, I don't know. But anyway, I have, I started drinking the hydrogen water, and I started recovering so much faster from this accident. So it has so many great benefits to it. I'm going to put some of the studies down below that PubMed did. I'll put the other studies from the Echo company that you can look up all the different things. But we all have chronic things going on from our food and everything else in our body. So this is something that you can do. It is a bit of an expense, but when you think about it over a 5-year time, there's also tabs. Some people have been talking about tabs. The tabs, they're hydrogen tablets. Those are nice too for on the go, but when you measure what that's costing with this bottle here, this is by far the better choice. So I love this bottle. I hope you'll check it out. I have a discount down below. You can also get them on Amazon. And I do want to mention that when I first did the video on this bottle here, I said don't get them on Amazon because they weren't on Amazon then. And I didn't want anybody to get scammed. But they are selling what's left of these bottles on Amazon, but not on the Echo website. But they are from Echo, so you're safe to do that if you want to get there too. But you can get a little discount, I'll put links below to all of it so you can kind of make a choice. But I think that you're going to really like it. I think it will help your health. So Let me know, do you have the old Echo to-go bottle? If you have, I'd love to hear, your benefits. And if not, you want to upgrade, I think it was worth it. I get more water and quicker. So that's my, my video on the Echo Flask. So let me know in the comments what you think. Have you tried hydrogen water? Are you going to try it? I'd love to hear it, and I'll see you on my next video.